Why is it called a building if it is already built? If a deaf person has to go to court, is it still called a hearing? Why do we press the remote control buttons farther when we know the batteries are dead? And seriously, why do some guys grow thick, glorious lumberjack beards in days, while others can't grow a single hair to save their lives? Welcome to Midnight Questions. Today we are answering, why can't some men grow a beard? Before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future late-night explorations. These thoughts tend to flood the mind specifically at night. When the distractions of the day fade, simple curiosities transform into deep biological mysteries that keep us staring at the ceiling for hours. Over the last several years, the thick, full beard has reclaimed its place as a dominant fixture in men's fashion and self-image. This trend leaves millions of men examining their own reflections, wondering why their jawlines remain smooth regardless of how much time passes between shaves. A pervasive societal myth suggests that a lack of facial hair points to a lack of testosterone or a deficiency in male hormones. This creates a heavy psychological weight, a quiet, late-night suspicion that a bare face signifies a basic failure of masculinity. The anxiety felt in front of the mirror assumes the body is missing a vital chemical signal. However, looking at the actual hormone levels of these men suggests that the answer lies somewhere other than the total volume of testosterone. Biologically, a man with a hairless face often possesses the exact same testosterone levels as a man with a massive, thick beard. The development of facial hair is driven by a specific byproduct of testosterone called DHT, alongside the way your DNA instructs your skin to respond to it. Deep beneath the skin, hair follicles contain tiny receptors. To grow hair, receptors must bind with DHT molecules in the bloodstream. In the genetically lucky, these receptors are highly sensitive. DHT connects, acting as fertilizer that triggers thick hair. If genetics made receptors blind, DHT simply bounces off and the face stays smooth. The presence of a beard is a visible record of a microscopic game of chance. It is a biological outcome decided by the DNA you inherited before you were born. This microscopic process contains one of the most ironic compromises in human biology. While DHT acts as a fertilizer for the jawline, it simultaneously kills the follicles on top of the head. This cellular contradiction is why so many men with the most impressive thick beards are also completely bald on top. It reveals the human body as an entity of trade-offs, where the same molecule that builds a feature in one location is responsible for destroying it in another. This brings us to a common piece of grandfatherly advice, that shaving a smooth face every day will eventually force the hair to grow back darker and thicker. A razor blade only interacts with the dead keratin sitting above the skin. It has no way to reach or influence the living follicle buried deep in the dermis. The thickness people report is an optical illusion. The razor cuts the hair at a blunt, flat angle rather than a natural point, making the emerging stubble feel coarser for a few days. While severe iron deficiency or extreme stress can temporarily impact hair health, these factors cannot override the base instructions written in your DNA. Shaving a hairless face cannot create follicles where none exist. Mechanical tools cannot force a biological change that the receptors aren't programmed to execute. If we move away from the microscopic view and look back into the bathroom mirror, the perspective changes. A smooth face is a genetic fingerprint. It is a trait entirely separate from a man's hormone levels or his character. There is no biological reason to harbor midnight insecurities or chase grooming myths to solve a problem that is simply a matter of inheritance. The image in the mirror is the result of a microscopic roll of the dice, a lottery settled long ago that requires acceptance rather than a razor. We have a question for you. What is the weirdest question that has ever popped into your head in the middle of the night? Let us know in the comments below so we can answer it in a future video. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. See you next time.